Good evening. This is Uncle Yab, and we're gabbing with Yab. I got my co-host Richard Carrington here, and we're doing it again, once again for tonight. It's been a while since we've seen you guys or we talked to you guys, but we got another one here, and this episode is all about what would be the average age for marriage between a man or a woman, and it's just a little small debate between he and I, and just to let everybody else know, or hopefully you guys can listen in on this too. The average age. Now, what I'm thinking about is the average age for. This is just my opinion for
All right.
any man or woman. To me, it would have to be probably your mid 20s, almost 30s, because that's just my thing. And I'm talking about in terms of you being ready,
Yes.
your mindset, and just the maturity of an individual at that age. Me personally, I don't think it's a good time to marry at the age 19, 20, 21. I just don't think that's a good time because you're still young and you're still trying to find yourself and feeling your way through life. And to bring another person into that and to make a matrimony, I think would be unfair. But like I said, they're just my opinion. What about you, Rich?
Well, I mean, I think you're right about that age, at mid 20s. That's when I got married, around my mid 20s. But, I have seen people get married at younger ages. And I agree that, you're still growing and you're still, developing who you are, your brain's still growing,
Right, right.
And so I agree with you about that age. I know, though, but, in earlier days, people got married a lot younger, and some people had arranged marriages. And, some of those marriages, lasted, were very successful and lasted a long time.
Right. And yep, I understand what you're saying. And I just have a couple of things that I want to touch on. And I have some history here,
Okay.
state by state, looking at when people get married, whether guys or ladies. And it says the average age at which guys in the U.S. get married or tie the knot start as 25 and a half.
Okay.
Okay. In some cities such as Utah, it could be 30.
Mm-hmm.
And in Washington D.C. as well. But what they going by here as the male to female ratio, but is broadly speaking, the more competitive a heterosexual male finds his local dating pool, the earlier he gets married. So you understand that?
Yeah. So if he finds, he meets someone, he said, okay,
Yeah.
this is the one. I can't live without him. And that could be if it's 21, and if it's 25 or
That's
30.
true.
When I guess you would say soulmate, or that one that you feel like, well, I can't live without him.
Yep.
And when they come into your life, I guess it's whatever time they come into your life, and you're, able to, understand that that's the one. Then you go from there.
Yeah. I got married at young too. I got married at 23.
Okay.
And not to say it was a bad thing, but I did it, and we were in love and stuff at the time. But when I look back on it, that might have been just a little too young.
Okay.
Just me speaking for my
Yeah.
thing.
Do you mean, was it too young for you, or was it too young for her, or?
I think it might have been too young for me because at the time we had just got married and I was going to the military, so
Yes.
that was a lot of things that I had to put on my plate.
Yes.
And I had to definitely grow up and be a man as
Yes,
far as
yes.
taking on a family. And at the
Yes.
time, we had a daughter, which was 2 years old.
Okay.
So, we did what we did. We made good of it and everything like that. But, 14 years later, we got a divorce.
Okay.
But that's a long time.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
and I look back on it, and I really can't say we were too young or too old or whatever.
Right.
But I still say, if I could have waited a little longer and got my mind frame together and stuff
Yeah.
like that, I think I would have been okay.
They have a saying that the heart wants what the heart wants. So, there's times where you'll just, you say, okay, well, this is the one, and y'all went for it, and in that union you had a beautiful daughter. So
Yep.
there's no regrets or anything, but it's just, it's a very fascinating topic, man. That because you know, I don't believe as many people are getting married as were, you know, say even a decade ago.
Right,
and
right.
I don't know if it's politics or if it's just people more focused on their careers.
Yep.
Because when I got married, it was like 26 years ago, and it was important. It was something that was stressed.
Right.
And it was.
Right.
We were in the church too, and they were like, you guys gonna get married.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
But we had been together much longer than that. So,
Right.
I mean, we had planned on it anyways, but it's just, I don't know if they push it as much now in society.
Yeah.
Do you think that, or?
I don't know about pushing it, but a lot of young kids that I find just by talking to and just being around, they talking about getting married and things like that, and I'm like, wow, you guys haven't even finished college and things like that, and you want to start this family, and I'm not downing. Don't get me wrong, marriage is good, but when you see these young individuals, you can really tell that they're not really ready just yet.
Yeah.
Because once you marry somebody, you inheriting a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Whether it be bills,
Yep.
Things like that to put on top of your plate. So to put that on a young person's plate that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
that's
So
true.
I'm always, if I had some advice for the millennials today, would be to just wait. Finish your career.
Yeah.
And get your life situated first before you start bringing in others, such as a mate or even a child for that matter.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when you're getting married, they say no more two, you become one.
You're right.
And when you become one, that means you share in everything.
Yes,
and the
that's
good
right.
and the bad, and even in your vows, you commit to that. So. If your wife is a spender and you're not, you need to figure all this stuff out from the beginning so that the union is successful, or
That's
if
right.
you like to, hang out and she doesn't,
Yeah,
or, you know what
yeah.
I mean? It's a lot that goes into it, so
And that's
it's not
important.
something to be rushed into.
That's
It's
true.
something I think they say there's a saying, it's something to be entered into soberly, you
Right.
know?
Right, you reckon you can't enter that when you're not sober. Definitely matter. That's a big thing.
Right,
That's a big thing. And like you said, I like the way you put that. And it's definitely, to death do us part.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
And you definitely better know what you're getting into.
Right.
A lot of times that marriage is definitely something you don't want to jump into. You want to research it.
Right.
What type of woman she is,
Right.
what type of family background she has.
Absolutely.
Maybe if she have any mental problems,
Yeah,
psychological or whatever,
yeah.
like that, you want to all put that also into perspective.
It's a reality.
Because then that's something you got to deal with.
Yeah.
Something to
Her
deal with.
family, because her family becomes your family,
Exactly,
and
exactly.
the relationship she had with her parents,
Yep.
and her father, all that stuff comes into play.
You're right. Also, religion and things
Yes,
like that. Maybe
yes.
she may be worship different from you.
Right.
She may raise a kid different from you that you've been accustomed to.
Absolutely.
And all of that plays an important role in it.
Right. And I'm glad you said role, because each of us has a role in marriage. We have a role, and some people might be old school, and but I came up where it said the man is the head of the house.
Yep, that's right.
And it wasn't that he was disrespecting the wife. It was just that he was the head, meaning he was responsible to making sure things, financially and that just that leader, this protector. So
Right.
someone come through that door, he got to be step in front. You know.
You're right.
So
I get you on that.
you got to
one.
know your role as well,
Yes, and that doesn't come easily. And it's a good thing to say. A lot of times, you might have a woman that, for the most part, might not want to relinquish things
Yes.
to you like that.
Right.
And there's a lot of women out here that's kind of hard to do that.
Right.
But then again, that's when you have to do your research.
Yes.
Not that you and I are being male chauvinists.
Right.
It's just that's what I'm on board of the same way.
Right.
The man is the head of the household, and he makes sure things are put down the way it's supposed to.
Right.
And a woman is his mate, so
Right.
she's supposed to back him up and do what she needs
That's
to
right.
do.
His helpmate.
Exactly. You help me, whether help with whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And not always did you have a good mate as far as when you're married, but you definitely that's what you're looking for.
Yes.
And it's hard sometimes, But hey, you know what they say? There's a man for every woman, a woman for every man.
Yes,
You
and
know, so-
and you know, a good relationship, a good healthy relationship, can take you to places that you never thought you could go, or places that you couldn't go alone.
You're right.
You know, and
You're right.
the intimacy and being together and working towards a goal
Mm-hmm.
and everything. There's a lot of beautiful things about marriage, but like they said, you got to study it. You got to do your research.
Yes,
And that person,
yes.
because once you say I do,
Yeah, you're right. You can't take that back.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times, and I know from experience, divorce is something that you don't want to be doing.
Right.
Because it's easy to get married, but it's definitely hard to get divorced, and a lot of times it becomes ugly.
yes,
So you definitely want to you want to dot your I's and cross your T's before you get into the marriage thing.
right.
And like I said, it could be a beautiful thing, but you definitely have to know your mate, and your mate have to know you.
Right. Now let me ask you this: do you think you're going to get married again? You'd ever do it again?
I'm not going to take it off the table.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been married twice,
Okay.
and right now I'm just having a good time with who I'm with, my girlfriend, who I'm with now,
Yes,
and
yes.
she's been married. I've been married twice, and we just relaxing on the marriage thing for right
Okay.
now.
Yes.
But my motto is, if it's broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
But that's not something that I'm saying no to.
Okay.
She's a good woman,
Yes.
and hey, let us keep on doing the way we doing it. Everything is everything,
Right.
and we working toward one goal,
Yes.
and so far so good.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're still willing to. You're not taking it off the table.
No, I'm not taking it off the table. I'm being honest with you.
Yes,
I'm not taking it
yes,
off the table
yeah.
because everybody needs somebody.
Right.
So that's something that I fear. To I don't want to grow old alone.
Yes, yeah.
But you always want to have the right person, because
Yeah.
even if you have somebody or not the right person, you still feel like that you are by yourself and you're lonely. So
Yeah. And so, you shared that you were married twice. Did you learn things about yourself from those marriages, or?
I sure did.
Yeah,
I sure
yeah.
did, and a lot of times it made me stronger.
Yes.
And it made me look at myself in a different light to say, hey, maybe some things I need to change.
Yeah.
Because nobody's perfect.
That's right.
And sometimes you have to do some molding and shaping of yourself.
Yeah.
So if you come through and come by the next situation or the next marriage or the next relationship, you know how to handle it a lot better.
Yeah, see that,
You
and
know,
that's important to be able to look in the mirror and say, I could have done this better, because I do that
Yep.
with my wife and say, man, I could have handled this situation better, or
Yep.
I could have been more supportive of her in this situation, and one thing that that's common around is people, and I hear it in the office a lot, oh, my husband this and my husband that, and
Yeah.
and sometimes that bothers me, and I say, well, geez, I wonder if my wife does that at work, but I know that she doesn't, because
Right.
that's not the type of relationship we have, and I don't know if
that's
it's just like if it's something to do, or say they say happy wife, happy life, but I say happy husband, happy life too.
Exactly. Because
So-
it goes both ways.
Exactly,
And
like you said,
yeah, it goes both ways. And if it doesn't, that's when the problem comes in.
Yes.
Because a lot of people may say, you give 50 and she gives 50, but I say she got to give 100 and you got to give 100.
Exactly.
'Cause it
I
has
love
to,
that.
You have to give a lot. You have to give a lot of yourself.
Yes.
And if somebody doing it 60-40 or
Yes.
80-20, that's not good.
It's gone.
That's
Eventually
not
it's
good.
gone.
Right. It's going to implode.
Yeah,
It's going
yeah.
to implode. So
Yeah, man.
just remember what we say, guys out there in podcast land. We're not against marriage, but we want to make sure you guys do all your research, because it's not the 20s anymore where you got to get a fixed marriage, or somebody fix you up with somebody
Right.
across the way, or,
Yeah.
or a good friend,
Right.
Because a lot of times that don't work,
Yeah.
But I guess it all depends on the religious preference or the country you're from,
Right.
But still, I just don't understand or see how that could work. You just placing people together,
Right.
But to each his own.
That's
Each his
right.
own with
That's
that,
right.
Yes. You got anything else to say? Big Ray?
No, I just think this was a great topic. It's marriage is a whole lot, man.
Yeah,
it's
it
a
is.
whole
It
lot,
is.
and
You're
and
right.
it's every year, it seems like I learn more, about
yeah.
myself
Oh,
and,
yeah.
about the importance of, listening and understanding,
Yep.
and working on the marriage. It's something you got to work on.
You're right.
You know,
24/7.
it needs maintenance.
Yeah,
Like
you're right.
with the car, you got to do oil change and all that stuff. You got to
Yep.
do your maintenance in your marriage, and
Exactly.
in your
Keep it
relationships.
working.
Yeah.
Keep it
Yeah.
working. All right. Well, we're gonna cut it off for tonight. And once again, this is Uncle Yab and Richard Carrington, and you're gabbing with Yab. Good night.
Good night.